Peace, everybody. Sweet Science Boxing Academy. We back with another video. All right, man. So I've been listening to reports the last few days after this big fight this past weekend between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, and now the consensus is that Errol Spence was weight drained. He was going into the fight incomplete. He wasn't himself. He was lackadaisy. He was sluggish. He wasn't throwing all his punches right and everything. He was unbalanced, uncoordinated, all that stuff. And a lot of people are starting to say that now because of the weight issue. A lot of people are saying that he would do a lot better at 154. Those extra 7 pounds would give him, a better chance of beating Bud. I just want to say right now, with all due respect,
Stop the cap.
please stop it. Because just before the fight, Terence Crawford was the one weight training. Remember? What happened to that? Like, you know, Boxing Ego, he put out a video saying that Terence Crawford looked weight drained and, his face was all sunken. And then after that, everybody started making videos running with that. But now, after the fight, now you flip it around. I knew this was going to happen before. That's why I put out that video a couple of days ago. Like, cut that crap out because don't come with the excuses now. Because if Earl had won, would y'all still be saying anything about the weight issue? No, you wouldn't be saying anything about the weight issue. He just wasn't better than him. And if they move up in weight and had his rematch, Terrence gonna beat that boy even worse. Because now he's gonna be fully strong. Because although I don't believe Terrence was weight drained, but he did say that it was hard for him making 147. Like it can be hard for you making weight, but not being drained. I've done it a lot in my fights. It'd be hard making weight, but I made the weight. I'm not drained and everything in a fight because you got time. You got 24 hours, maybe a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less to recover. You got all them hours to rehydrate. You got hop on the scale 147. The next night, you be like 158, 165, something like that. So cut the crap. And Earl, he looked meaty. He was real meaty in that fight versus the weigh-in. Go back and look at how he looked on the scale, then go back and look how he looked inside the ring. That boy put on at least an extra 15, 20 pounds in between the weigh-in and the fight. So cut that weight drain excuse. No, Terrence is just physically stronger than him. Physically and punching power. And because he's a smaller guy moving up in weight, he got the speed as well. His timing was better. His IQ was better. He was more crafty. He just was an all around better fighter. And his A game was another notch because even I can attest to say that Terrence, starts off slow a lot. He usually take a few rounds to download the information before he start picking you apart. But that night he didn't do that. Usually he would come in orthodox and then within a few seconds of the round, maybe about 30 to 45 seconds, while he moving around the ring, he'll switch positions and go into a southpaw stance. And he usually would stay that way throughout the whole fight until he gets you hurt. Then he'll hurry up and turn back orthodox and get you out of there. But he didn't do that. He stayed southpaw the entire time. He had his hands up and everything sharp the entire time. Usually Terrence get hit a lot. We've been saying that before the fight. Like if Terrence get hit, we don't know if he's going to be able to take them punches because usually people be catching them. He wasn't catching them. So that just goes to show you that Terrence, he fights to the level of his opponents. If he felt like his opponents is lesser than him, then he's going to take more risks. But if he felt like his opponent is one of those high risk factors, then he's going to stay sharp 100% of the times. He thought Errol Spence was a high risk factor. Turns out to him he wasn't. But he wasn't taking no chances. and he kept it sharp the whole night. So all this weight drain stuff, oh man, y'all can miss me with that. It's crazy. It's cool though because run with it. Because Earl said that he want to do the rematch and possibly be in December. If it's not going to be in December, it'll be sometime early next year, maybe spring sometime, something like that. That's cool because you're still not going to have no, you're not going to have enough time to prepare for Terence Crawford because if you did, you would have been did that because he came into this fight with just plan A. I'm just going to come forward and maul him and keep putting that pressure on him until he mentally break. I heard him kept saying that throughout the build-up. I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna break his will. He was even saying it to the guys on the podcast. Like that's what he usually do to people. He be tapping, 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 and it's a mental drain to him. Oh, when you go up against someone different, you gotta think different. You gotta do different. But they believe that Terrence is gonna break just like everybody else. And that's not just on Errol Spence's part. That's on his trainer Derek James' part because he should have known better. But when you listen to interviews of Derek James, he never really thought highly of Terrence or Bomac. He make it sound like he's trying to be cordial or respectful. If you're someone like me who can read between the lines, he never really thought anything highly of them. He thought that they were good for their respective weight classes and the people they fought, but we something different. So we ain't gotta prepare different for y'all because y'all gotta prepare different for us. Little did they know they was wrong. But if we do get this fight at 154, we're gonna see if any justice is gonna be made on the Spence camp. If not, Crawford gonna do the same thing, maybe even worse. And then we can get that big fight between Charlo and Crawford. So that's all I got for now. Let me know what y'all think. Drop your comments down below. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll see you at the next one. Peace.